So hey guys, welcome to Occultists Anonymous, episode 80. Holy shit. We are sponsored by Roll20, The Onyx Path, and viewers like you. Thank you guys for your continual support of our dumb, silly show. Well, it's our game. The fact that it's a show is kind of a bonus thing. But yeah, thank you for joining us. So everybody who likes, comments, subscribes on Twitch, subscribes or follows on Twitch, all those different things, everybody who clicks the buttons, thank you. I'll be honest, you just give me that little boost of self-esteem and that ego that I really don't need. But, thank you nonetheless. And a special shout out to our patrons who support us monetarily, and I need to double check the numbers, but I think we are going to go shopping for character art this month, maybe. Which actually reminds me, for those of you who are listening to this now, unless this is really, really old on YouTube, in which case just move on, bud. But if you're watching this live-ish, and like some cool artists that want to get paid for some art, or you yourself are an artist.
Yeah, we don't pay an exposure.
No. My wife works freelance. Hell no, do we pay an exposure? But let us know, because there's already been suggestions of people to do art with, but if possible, I would love to find somebody who enjoys the show to do the art and work with and stuff like that, because, that literally would be giving back to our community, so that would be cool on my end. That's pretty much it. Yeah, if you know artists who like our show, or you yourself are an artist, let us know. Come on Discord, that's yeetinto.space, or I think there's links and all sorts of other stuff. Come join us on Discord and be like, hey, this artist is really, really cool. Don't tell me about the one you're a big fan of. Trust me, we have our own that we are super fans of that we would love to get commissions from, but I want to see if we can find somebody from the community before we go there. I think that'd be cool. But a special thank you to our patrons who support us monetarily and actually allow us to do cool stuff like that. Adam, Alan, Michael, Alexander, Badur, Bernie, Brandon, Doc, Emil, Giovanni, James, John, Josh, Cat Feathers, Melissa, Michael, Moku, Noba, Other Michael, Perry, Puppeteer, Roy Viscrad, Brian, Schmitty, Senna, Thomas. One go! Whew. I need a break.
Show's over, folks.
Yeah, that's all you get today. Thank you guys for your support. It really does mean a lot to us. If you are not supporting us on Patreon, it's okay. We love you anyways. We will happily give you hugs if you see it. Well, we'll at least give high fives, depending on levels of pox, and coronavirus and all other stuff. But high fives are probably okay.
Maybe we can bump elbows. Yeah.
Bump elbows. That's true. That is the healthy one.
A friendly wave from across the way.
Yeah.
Regardless, you all mean stuff to us. We appreciate it. We're glad that you are here to share in our really, really dumb adventures. Speaking of dumb adventures, when we last left Songbird, he had walked off into the sunset. Well, sun was definitely set, but with a vampire named Tassos. And then now this is the part where in the deep recesses of your mind, where they're terrible, terrible, evil, mad scientist experiments, that shit happened.
Imagine those.
And we're going to move on.
We're not going to super get into it.
But yes, so Songbird, as we had mentioned in the last episode, and kind of jokingly told Chris just now, oh yeah, you texted us that you were alive. And that is at dawn. Other than that, Songbird, was there anything that you wanted to do like that morning, or was it basically, I'm done, I'm going home, and I'm going to go sleep this off? Yeah,
I think it's walk through the door. I will say, as Chris, the two things that we will say that are important is that Songbird now has a condition, a game term condition, not sort of an in-universe thing, where he is, we'll say, hesitant around sharp things. And Tassos has a quantity of my blood.
Yep. Oh, and Forces 3. Wait, no. Songbird has Forces 3. Tassos doesn't have it.
Tassos does not have Forces 3.
Yep.
That would be something else.
Yes.
Yeah, that'd be wild.
But yeah, did he drink your blood?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. For sure.
So that you were strapped to a table and he was high with sharp implants.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds like a treat.
Oh, which actually does remind me. It won't really matter because you can channel mana or do an oblation or whatever. But during your night, you lost 2 points of mana in the process of experimentation, but then would have regained it after.
Okay.
I'm not too stressed about
just from doing other life spells or whatever.
Yep.
Yeah, sounds fine.
Cool.
I mean, I can just shred a stamina before I lose it.
Exactly. Yeah. No big deal at all for actual gameplay purposes, but that is just one of the other little things that Songbird really realized that somehow in the process.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And I'll
so yeah, I think I just like come in looking very haggard, and just I don't know if Atreides is like. I think this is.
I think we were not there at the time.
Okay.
Yeah, because you guys.
I lost the timeline of watching y'all's episodes from last week's. But.
Right, because you would have been safe at dawn when they were off taking Titus and Jimmy to meet with the werewolves, finished with the werewolves, and then they went to the library.
At the dam.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like some point during the day he texted us and we're like, I'm alive.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, it would have been at dawn.
Yeah. All right. So just nap. I think just nap time then.
Okay.
Yeah. So come home and find you.
On the couch.
Yeah. Well, it did not get to the bed. Couch. Good couch. Very good couch.
Fluffy, not sharp.
Yep. Notably, from what you can see of Songbird's skin, no scars.
Well, physically fine.
No visible scars.
Scar. Like I said, cannot see any scars. But yeah, so yeah, I take it that everybody at that point, Weird and Atreides meet up with Songbird back, and it is late afternoon when you guys make your way back.
I don't say anything. I just offer Songbird a hug. Just give him or her, depending what form you're in, a big old squeeze.
That's nice.
Rough night.
Yeah. That was yeah. But
did you at least get what you needed?
Got a whole bunch of info.
Cool.
You gonna be okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. It'll be fine.
Okay.
All right.
What have y'all been doing?
We we took Jimmy around to Rescue One to sort of say he's with us now and a mage now. And
did he apologize?
Yeah, he apologized. They're roughly cool with him. They don't like him, but I don't think they're going to, but they're fine with him. We didn't have to deal with Jake, so.
Titus introduced himself, which was
Titus met Alicia. That was something.
I bet that went well.
It did, actually. It went really well. So, good for him.
I may or may not have had something to do with that.
And then we figured out a rough plan for what we need to do to help Weird out. Still not sure how we're going to.
With what? Trying to remember if I know about this.
You do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Her month to go get the things.
That's right. Yeah.
Talked to Hiza about it a little bit, and we got a plan of action.
We know roughly what we're gonna
try.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do we know where to go?
It's all mental, right?
I'm looking for. I don't necessarily know where the best place to find it would be, conceptually speaking.
I just gotta kind of figure out the realm of thought where that thing would be, right?
So, Kintsugi was one of the first things I thought of. And like you can find that in Japan.
You don't know that word.
You don't.
It's like when you break a bowl and then repair it with gold.
Oh.
Have you seen those? They're real cool.
So when you break something intentionally,
No. This means take something that is broken and repair it in a way that doesn't cover up the fact that it was broken.
Oh,
And you make
cool.
something
So,
new and
like, if I
beautiful.
brought you a bunch of gold and then you made me a new kitchen chair, that'd be kintsugi.
No.
Well, no,
Are you
you don't
still
have
mad
to
about the
use
chair?
that kitchen chair. I could break one of these.
So if
You
had
already
a,
did.
if you had a favorite coffee mug and accidentally dropped it one day, and you take the shards together and you rebuild them using gold to hold the seams together, it becomes something new that's familiar, but it's beautiful in its own right.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
And then I thought tarot cards, because they've been a big part of my life for a while.
Did you ever figure out which card?
Kind of just get those anywhere, right?
You could
Which
go
card?
steal
I'm just
them.
gonna draw it and see what you get.
I was just thinking of a whole deck, actually.
Okay.
And then storytelling is like a recurring theme in my life. Go figure. So some sort of a story or a book, something to do
So,
with storytelling.
all right.
So those are the things I think would work. I'm not necessarily sure where to find them. There's a few different places we could probably go.
You should probably nail down that last one a bit better.
Yeah.
Do you have a story in particular that you would like to think from?
I thought about like the story of Huckleberry Finn, or maybe one of the Celtic heroic stories.
Really relate to Huck Finn?
No, but I relate to the story, the storytelling, that it's a very rich and detailed kind of story. I don't necessarily relate much to Huck Finn. It's more of the act of sharing a story is kind of what I'm going for, but I don't really know how to capture that. I don't know how to make a physical representation of sharing a story. But I'm open to ideas if anyone has any.
The voice in the corner, chimes in with, a library or a bookstore.
But that's, yes.
Sleeping Beauty style bejeweled book.
Sure. That could work. Or just an old
A fairy tale book.
Yeah. Aesop's Fables.
You
So
already got
everybody
that
kind of
one.
looks to Weird's pocket.
I feel like for the idea of storytelling, in my head, I see the pretty little fancy jeweled fairy tale book that you see in every movie where they're telling fairy tales.
Yeah, the opening
Right.
of every Disney old school. Yeah.
With the
the once
illuminated
upon a time,
manuscript inside, and
Yeah, that
one of
might.
those. Yeah.
Cool. Well, I'm along for the ride, I guess.
And there's, it's going to be the Temenos. Like, I've never been there before. I don't think you guys have.
Nope.
So it's going to be cool anyway. So.
Well, the good news is that as far as I know, we can't die.
Usually wake up if you die.
Mhm.
It's going to be a bit of a hangover.
Mhm.
I believe the term is soul shock.
That's amazing.
So should we head to Worth Street?
I mean, do you want to do this right now? It's like 4 p.m.
I mean, does it matter when?
I mean, how long is it going to take?
I've never been to the Temenos
You're
before.
you're the mind mage.
Yeah.
I've never been to a Temenos.
So let's go and see what happens.
Let's.
Okay.
I'm sure it's all going to be fine.
Why don't we leave from the sanctum?
From here?
Not from here. From our actual workshop.
Do we have a domain there?
Yeah.
Well, bear in mind, you can use a domain. You can also use any
Hello.
Oh, okay.
We have both.
Okay.
It'd be a good place of power. Also, it's safe.
Yeah, we do have Jimmy and Titus both on guard duty.
Or, you can at least tell them. Currently, they're, doing
Right.
beat cop stuff, but
Should we take Jimmy just for the experience?
No, he's
That might be a
brand
little
new at
much for
this.
him
I
right now.
don't.
Say,
Yeah.
when you're talking about taking somebody to a place of thought and pure personality, and they're still figuring out what their current personality still is.
Yeah, he's just woken up to this. Let's not throw him in too hard.
True, and he's probably got some shit to work out with his own daemon, right? So
I mean, you wouldn't necessarily meet his daemon.
true.
Yeah, that's
Cool.
I think a good idea. Also,
Let's text
sanctums
Jimmy
have
to come check on us in a few hours.
the general mage rule safeguards on them.
Okay. That
Cool,
sounds
cool.
And we're not at war with vampires yet, so they can't barge in on us.
It's true.
They could, they just
shudder
can't
a little bit when you
just-
just say the word vampire.
Yeah, I'm just
They could barge in on us. They just can't get caught.
because once all right, no. See, what are the rules? No, being inside is fair game. So yeah, they totally could just barge in on us and kill us. Cool.
I thought there were rules about invading our sanctums and stuff. No.
Not for them.
It's mages.
Yeah, only applies to mages. So you know.
Cool. Well, let's do this.
Okay. Head to the workshop.
Cool. So yeah, you guys head down to the workshop. And yeah, like you said, you message Titus and Jimmy about, hey, we're gonna, well, do you actually give them an idea of what you're up to?
We'll be meditating.
Okay.
Come check on us in a few hours.
Cool. So yeah, you have the domain, so that could be used. And then there's the Hallow, which is not too bad. Each of you would have to spend 4 mana to get through.
I can just.
Well, yeah, it's like Atreides and Songbird can lend you some mana. Weird.
Just roll, right?
You
can just, because I have my domain there.
Right.
Yeah.
So just gnosis plus composure.
Yep. Now here's my question. Because as per, the mage enters their own Aneros unless they make telepathic contact with someone else, in which case mutual assent or the strongest telepath determines which Aneros they visit. So whose Aneros?
Cast telepathy.
Yeah, you can do that, but the question is, which Aneros do you guys say, hey, let's meet up at?
It's Weird's journey, so.
Starting from hers makes no sense.
Cool. So yeah, go ahead and roll resolve plus composure.
Do I not need to do it telepathically?
I'm not too stressed about you. Like, yeah, we know you can cast telepathy.
Eventually, I get it.
Yeah. And like similar to when. Oh, are we gonna have this happen again? Are we gonna have this happen again? Weird. I need you to roll.
I'm in, baby.
So before all that happened, I wanted to have a bit of a talk, but
Sure.
I mean, that's
we
fine.
can skip that.
This just happens when whenever we decide to go in.
Okay. So if we're gonna go in through me, I just really nervous. I don't do intimacy well. I don't know if you guys noticed, a lot of barriers and stuff. So I should probably manage expectations.
I mean, you've showed up in my soul already.
Yes, I did.
It'll be fine, Weird.
It's all the burned out wreckage of all of my memories.
I couldn't possibly think you're stranger than I already do.
Well, it's a mess in there. I'm a mess. There's a lot of unresolved conflict, which will probably manifest
Welcome
itself.
to being a human being and also a mage.
Okay. Just don't try and fix anything, okay?
Looks
we're
of
not
red ebon phoenix.
Visiting your arrows. We're just kind of
Yeah, I know.
showing up
Happening quick.
and then leaving. Yeah, it's this rest stop. It's not the destination.
Roll them resolve plus composure.
not me.
Okay, so 2 hours for Atratus.
Takes me 2 hours to get in.
Weird takes 1, but Songbird is hanging out. Yep.
No. I let her know we were going to have company.
Yep, you did. Which is fine because, your daemon knows what you know.
It's just you, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Atratus's didn't. I was staring at a Tommy gun for an hour, as I recall.
But yeah, when Weird, you arrive in Euro Neros, this is not your wide open landscape that you are used to seeing arrive in. There's no falling into the lake. Instead, you are basically in this wide. It's basically a library, old school, something that you would find in like Copenhagen or Amsterdam or something like that. This kind of ornate with just books upon books upon books. And you find Songbird sitting and having tea with your daemon, who you suspect is your daemon. It's the only other person in the room, and a metaphorical narrative time later, Atratus arrives. But yeah, you basically see Songbird having a casual conversation with your daemon about things that Weird needs to work on. And Songbird, could you prod her a little bit? And it's the equivalent of showing up and finding your mom talking to your
all your friends,
showing your baby pictures to
and it's just like no. Now that said, your daemon keeps the embarrassing things that you wouldn't want Songbird to know under wraps, because the daemon knows that's
it's over there in the corner. It's a mummy,
right? Under wraps. But yeah, there in this amazing library is, for the most part, memories. There's and it's all cordoned off of memories here, arcana here, rotes there, praxis there. It's just this huge, enormous, ornate library.
So thanks for tidying up.
she gives you a sly little thumbs up and then returns to drinking her tea.
Mm-hmm. So this is she absolutely refuses to pick a name, so I just call her Demona. So Demona, this is Atratus the Songbird, and you know that, but you also know that words are important.
Yes, I do. And you are off on a most interesting journey. Yeah.
Yes.
The Temenos, and she kind of motions towards a door, which really isn't necessary for you guys because you basically just return to the pathway. But she motions and she says, "Yep, I know. Bring back good memories, and please don't give away desires that are important." But I don't think that's quite going to be a problem.
Thank you for the advice.
What'd you give up?
Let's go.
Yep.
She's such a nag.
It's you guys.
Like, she has your best interests in mind because they're also hers.
Yes.
Yeah, they don't necessarily conscious and subconscious don't always agree.
And I love her dearly, and she is all the best parts of me. But yeah, she can be a little pushy.
Yep. So you guys continue on, which in my head, Weird walks through the grass and the trees and stuff like that, and so compared to Songbird and Atratus's normal meditation, this is very different. This is how you see things walking through a forest, as you guys kind of link arm in arm. And so, as I've mentioned multiple times now, and I have not gotten a straight answer from these guys. What region? What is the focus that you guys kind of where are you going in the Temenos?
So
you want your Kintsugi first? We can figure out the path, which way would be.
I'm thinking we could probably find everything like in a representation of New York. Those concepts should be relatively close. Like there would be an art store. Well, no, but maybe we could find a store that sells it, or
Well,
Like-
bear in mind,
or a
New
museum
York,
where it's displayed.
Let's
but-
be a little bit more whimsical with it.
yeah, and also
Okay.
bear in mind, New York is going to be New York. It is going
Yeah.
to be everything about New York. It is not going to be like people do not have like the concept of New York City. You're likely to end up in a place called Metropolis,
yeah.
and it's your super generic, huge city.
And I understand we're not doing a physical journey. We're doing a conceptual journey.
Mhm.
No, but yeah, also when you go there, it's like you'll have a theater district off Broadway.
Yeah.
There's no, like, you're not going to find, like, a
Well,
pottery shop necessarily.
Yeah.
The thing is, you won't even find Broadway. You will find a Goetia who represents Broadway
Right.
in Metropolis. Yeah, so
I think starting a little smaller than that is probably a good idea.
All right. So how
And
about
we had the idea of library.
the archetypal for the kintsugi, like an archetypal, like medieval Japanese workshop.
yeah, I mean, well, and so conceptually, you're talking pottery.
Yeah.
Pottery, yeah.
Pottery art.
Art.
Artworks.
I feel like going to art. And then from there going to ceramics and finding.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, you guys link arm in arms and kind of under your breath. Art. The Wonderful Wizard of Oz. Whoosh. And yeah, basically carrying through brambles and brush and stuff like that. And there's a moment where mage minds cannot comprehend as you kind of look out across the whole of the Temenos, and it's just absolutely mind-bogglingly huge, and stuff is everywhere, and these bridges and linkages everywhere, and then just rush down to what appears to be a almost like a Ren Fair kind of place where there's tents and booths and wagons, and it is like this hodgepodge of art and people putting stuff together, and there's masses of people moving amongst, and there's it's like a bazaar of all these different
I mean, I get
things.
that it's weird.
It is a bazaar of people selling things, but there's also clusters of people watching, masters at work and stuff like that. But there's this, yeah, actually, that is what you see.
Okay.
As you guys kind of walk this kind of dirt path forward and find yourself kind of crushed by the mass of people teeming about. Interestingly, most of the people that you see teeming about look like extras that you've seen in TV shows, or you pass by Titus or Jimmy or Ethan and anybody else. Just it's all faces of people you recognize, and you'll see duplicates of them. They're just a mass of people. They don't actually mean anything.
This is us projecting onto them, isn't it?
Well, sort of. It's more of your mind is
The
filling in.
opposite?
There
Yeah.
should be
Creating the crowd. Yeah. There is a crowd here, and your brain is filling in the faces.
Right.
That's cool. I want to go look at these stalls.
Yeah, me too.
I am delighted.
I think we all want to look at some shops.
We want to
yeah.
start looking at, I am excitedly running up to booths to see the stuff.
So yeah, as you
The
walk,
mental concept of art.
right. So as you walk towards, pick. So what catches your eye? What is the first artsy thing that you see that style of art or whatever?
First thing weird would probably notice would be like a book bindery or something.
Okay, sure. Yeah, as you get closer and kind of lead the way through this crowd that kind of parts around you, you're not quite pushing and shoving the way you feel like you should. The booth seemingly gets larger and more encompassing and more almost a drag and draw in.
Oh, this is wild.
It's a shopping episode.
No.
It is most definitely not a shopping episode.
No.
Sort of, kind of, all right, fine, but it's not
It's
really.
not a shopping episode.
It's not,
More
not
like
a shopping episode.
hunt.
Yeah, it's scavenger
More like
hunt
a
episode.
scavenger hunt,
Yeah, I want to look at the
Yeah, I mean, you can see them bookbinding and things like that, but like you would have to kind of push forward into the crowd to really get up there.
Yeah.
Okay, so as you do so, with Ash, with the Tratus kind of leading the way, Songbird, I'm sure, is probably bringing up the rear. You watch as Atratus disappears.
Oh, cool.
And Ash, you are suddenly in this, like, workshop. What was this little tent with some guys showing off some stuff. Suddenly it is bigger, larger, fully constructed tables of workers and stuff like that, working away at actual bookbinding. And nothing seems to actually be getting done. It almost feels like watching animatronics of Santa's elves, right? Everybody seems to keep doing the same couple actions and moving a book over, and then they reach over and that stack has not increased. Yeah, and it's just, seemingly flowing in a constant loop.
Like a GIF on a loop.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
With a really good loop.
The act of making is what this is. It's not the product. Okay.
That's interesting.
That's really
You're
cool.
the only one that sees that.
Yep.
I've done bookbinding. I took a class on it.
But yeah, that's a weird. And Songbird, Atratus is gone. Atratus, you look around and you're in this room.
So I'm going to push forward because this isn't necessarily that surprising for me.
Mm-hmm.
So...
Like into the bookbinding area? Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, you find yourself in the same workshop there alongside Atratus.
I that's kind of what I expected to happen, just because the whole getting close and it's getting bigger and drawing in.
Yeah, and you're getting deeper into the concept.
Songbird leaves.
Songbird is out.
Yeah.
To find the art of craft brewing.
I'll wait in the car.
So, cool.
Yeah.
I don't think what we need is going to be here.
Nope. I don't think so either, but this is an interesting experience.
Super neat, yeah.
So...
Look at something with your mage vision. Mind magic everywhere.
Yes, we're basically swimming in mind magic right now. So we don't need to be here.
Mind
we need
Arcana.
Yeah.
So let's head out and try and find another workshop that's
closer to what we're
yeah
for.
That's yeah.
Once we get there, if it's also like this, which is that there are no things,
but there are things, like there's a pile of books right there,
but they're not complete.
But
there doesn't need to be.
Yeah.
Remember, because you're not after actual Goetia. You're wanting.
It's true. You're looking for a piece of it.
Right.
Yeah, we're just looking for this scenery. Like we're basically taking a piece of the scenery off, like a flower in the backdrop.
We're hanging out in the Goetia of bookmaking.
Well, you're in the realm of. There's probably here, because you have it. So using Mage Sight, most of these things are non-thinking. They don't have any, but there is moving amongst them, what looks like the bookmaster.
Directing them.
Page master, that's the one. Is directing and is actually a thinking being. So that's something that you could sense. Most of this is just fluff and, hodgepodge around because it fits his needs, But yeah, a lot of this stuff, similar to the crowd outside, is just here because it needs to be here.
I kind of want to talk to it.
Sure.
I don't have any questions for it, but just the fact that it's just like it's a Goetia.
Remember, you have the ability later to do goetic summons.
That's true.
And literally just go sit in your domain and be like, I call you forth, bookmaker. Floop. Okay, let's chat and have tea. Dangerous, but you can do it.
Let's head out and try again for a pottery place.
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay.
How do we get out?
I think we just walk to the door.
We can try that, yeah.
Yep.
Is there a door?
There's a door. It's a workshop. It's got a front and back door. And okay, so what is on your mind when you leave that door?
Getting back to
the bazaar. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, you step back out through and kind of push through the crowd, and you don't actually even remember opening the door. You were just at the door, and then you were stepping out into this crowd. And Songbird, yeah, you see them bloop, bloop, just kind of step out like from the crowd. Just that whole, well, actually, especially for both of them, height wise, their faces just suddenly appear amongst the crowd.
So I kind of jump a little bit. This is so cool. We're not like we're not traveling physically. We're traveling conceptually. That's just awesome. I love it.
Yes.
Okay, so the next card over is going to be a pottery place.
Sure. But
and is it a
Probably
pottery
have,
place?
like a wander for a while,
not
right?
necessarily. Yeah, you'll probably
It's
have
not
to.
necessarily the next one over. It's
Yeah.
it's probably pretty far from bookmaking, actually, in the realm of art.
True, conceptually, yeah, okay, yeah.
Yep.
Although because like a lot of art will have a story on it, like a lot of pottery will be decorated with a story.
Different types of pottery, yeah. If you're going for like especially like the old Grecian pot.
Yep.
Yeah. So,
But that's not the same thing as what you were thinking of.
No, but it's on the way there.
So I have this like image of the scene just being like the two of them just like sprinting from place to place, like
Yes.
seeing what's going on, and Songbird just like
Like me taking my kids on Halloween when they were younger, and they just like, run from
All
door
right.
to door.
and every now and then I'll just be like, okay. And then at some point I hear the clang, clang, clang.
Yeah, I'm just like, is nothing here interesting to you?
Well, I mean, that section is. Now, here's my question. Do you guys end up separated in the bazaar?
I mean, I want to see all of it. Like,
Yeah.
if Songbird is heading towards blacksmithing, I'm going that way too because I want to see it.
Word would very likely see something shiny and forget herself and wander off.
Also, the blacksmiths are my favorite part of the Ren Fair, so I'm absolutely going to the blacksmiths.
Yeah, so they're, in like, like I said, the Renfest kind of style of huge, open outdoor kind of setup, rudimentary. But yeah, as Songbird and Detritus, you guys get a little closer, you are drawn into, and it is the like medieval concept and not in any way realistic. Not a little closer, not quite like movie level, but people's concept of what when they think of a forge and smithing, they think of there's
Some
weapons
big ass fire,
right? And there's weapons on
everywhere.
the wall, not a bunch of horseshoes and stuff like that. Yeah.
I'm just saying the forge, the smithy from A Knight's Tale.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, because
It's
that's
a
what
big
people
open
think of.
tent with a bunch of weapons and armor hanging up. Just
Yep. And yeah,
Clearly.
there's a bunch of sweaty dudes who are inexplicably wearing aprons but not shirts.
Yeah.
Because why? But sure. And just working.
wow, how are you gonna call out Songbird like that?
Dude, I'm calling out Colossus like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, and just they're working away, and there's some absolutely heavy set barrel of a man, big gnarly beard, walking around inexplicably holding around this huge hammer that is not useful for anything. Just moving amongst people and more bellows. It's like whoa, that fire is plenty hot. But yeah, and just these people moving about, and especially because you guys know smithing art, this stuff is kind of low tier. It doesn't hold a huge place in the mind of people, especially old school smithing like this.
Yeah.
Industrial level stuff.
I feel like all the weapons on the wall are all like overwrought, like fucking movie weapons and stuff.
Probably a little bit. I think you've probably got a fair balance because it is, the accumulated years that have put in, that have, forged this concept. So yeah, you guys are there for, a minute or two before you realize that Weird is not there with you. Weird, what shiny thing did you go find?
Let's see. Probably a silversmith.
Oh yeah. which is actually probably fairly close to but everyone's heading to the blacksmith. Ooh, shiny.
Yes.
Diverted by the jewelry makers.
Right. And so there is, this workshop of, I can't remember what the stupid book was that we were required to read. It's like Johnny whoever, and he burned his hand, but little silversmith in like the Revolutionary War. I cannot remember it, but that's how good forced reading is. Anyways, a bunch of these young apprentices, sitting over tiny little bits and bobs and, forging stuff, and inexplicably there is, some, they're all making modern, style jewelry, with diamonds placed into them.
Johnny Tremaine, yeah.
Yep.
Perry remembered.
Johnny Tremaine, that's the one. Yep. Thank you. Oh, of course it's Perry. But yeah, and so you guys are kind of split up at the moment. But to move things along so it doesn't get too dragged down, you guys probably bounce in and amongst a bunch of these little things. And for the most part, well, actually, literally, nobody really pays any attention to you. Occasionally, the actual resident Goetia, the archetype, like spots you and watches you. Probably a little bit defensive, but you're not disrupting anything, the work that is going on, so they don't, cause a ruckus with you. They have no need to. And unless you guys have a reason to get super diverted, you guys eventually make your way towards, pottery. And there is slew of pottery stuff.
One thing I do, can I ask the Goetia at the silversmith if I can have a piece? The jewelry that they've made?
Actually, he has no problem with that.
Okay.
Because he is a smith. He's not necessarily the businessman and into selling things. He's into making things. Yeah, he doesn't care. Yeah.
I'm going to take a pretty thing. I mean, I can't physically have it unless I summon it out of my universe later. But it's my thing now. Cool. Yep. A souvenir.
Yeah, there you go. And so I imagine this is, fine. Well, we found weird, in the silversmith. Mm-hmm. Yep. And then, you guys make your way over to pottery, which, like I said, there is a slew of different potters. You've got, folks doing, the more modern stuff. You've got, these dudes in togas painting Grecian urns, Japanese, artisans working.
Patrick Swayze is there.
And I was exactly getting there. Somewhere inexplicably, like amongst all this stuff, like all these different, folks doing, normal, modern pottery. And then there's this man and woman who are arched around each other.
Making out over a
right. And it's just going like, no, but okay. It's wedged in here.
Yep. Part of the human connection with pottery. Yep.
So from the Japanese, we should be able to get to where we're looking to go.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure how that will actually work.
But I mean, literally.
We'll be walking into the realm of Japanese
pottery
work.
Yep.
And then from there, you could try to.
I mean, literally, like you find, because even within pottery, and I think basically you guys enter into this area of pottery, which leads into, these other little branches. Mm-hmm. And there you find literally artisans who are working on, is it kintsugi?
Kintsugi.
Yep. Who are actually working and, meticulously placing, shards in amongst, gold. It's not quite filigree, but, gold welding. Ooh. Yeah. Kintsugi. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, and they're, and I have no idea what traditional Japanese potters would wear, but it is, exactly that. Because fortunately, most of that thought is going to come from actual Japanese people. So it's actually going to be fairly accurate. Again, probably fairly stylized. But there's all sorts of different works of, I almost said jade, but that's far more Chinese. But
Also not pottery.
Porcelain. That's where I was getting. And yeah.
So it's like a big workshop. There's lots of people working.
I mean,
or is it like the one master alone in a room?
Right. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was like, this is probably considerably fewer people because this is a painstaking, delicate process. But yeah, there's the project that he's currently working on, and then there's other bits stored, possibly some works in progress and stuff like that.
Is he seated, standing?
I imagine you do this kind of work seated.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll go up and kneel down and bow.
Kind of nods and acknowledges your presence silently, but like it's a nod and then back to his work.
Your work is beautiful.
Thank you. That is the intent and purpose.
May I have a piece to take with me?
Yeah, very similar to the silversmith. I'm sure he's like, yeah, you're welcome to any of my finished works.
I bow again. Thank you.
Sure.
And I'm going to go pick an intricate one.
One that looks like it was really messed up, or
yeah.
What do you mean? Yeah,
it looks like it was really messed up, but put together. But that means that it took a lot of care to put it back together. Probably something with roses and thorns might be appropriate if there's one there.
Well, though I'm not sure.
There's probably not.
Yeah, because roses and thorns not exactly a Japanese motif. But
all right. Yeah. So find
nice,
something.
Yeah, large fern or something. Yeah.
And
heft that up and make your way out.
It'll be small, right? Put it in a bag, like a little bowl.
You're cool.
Yep. How about a teacup? Like a green tea.
Like one of the little.
Yeah, you collect something. If what it looks like matters to you, please share. But
what's on it doesn't really matter as long as it's like was smashed and had a lot of work put into it to put it back.
Sure. Yeah, and you guys, Weird collects that, and then now here's the tricky part. Where do you go next?
Okay, so because now we have to actually get there, right? Involving going through other places now that we're here.
Yep. And Mick JB, you are correct. If you mess with the resident folks who aren't real, they will eventually become sapient.
I'm thinking to tarot cards, probably the best thing to do would be to get back to the bazaar and then go to like a carnival and then find a fortune teller.
But we're not super in a bazaar. We're in art.
Sure, but
art is presenting as a bazaar.
Correct.
Sure. But from art, we can get to the bazaar, like the concept of a bazaar, and then from there to the concept of carnival, maybe?
I feel like storytelling is easier to get to from art.
Sure. Okay. That makes sense. Sure.
And I appreciate that you guys are having this conversation in this, this little pottery barn.
Yes.
Little pottery barn.
Yeah. It's you're like, okay, where do we go next? Consult the non-existent
What if we
map.
Follow so they had the idea of like a castle library or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So what if we follow someone that's buying books?
Are they buying things? No. They're just the crowd populating this market. But yeah, we are currently in the mental realm of all forms of art with all the different little side menus. From art, yeah, I feel like storytelling would be easiest because that is an art form.
From art, we can get to performance.
Yeah.
And from performance, we can get to storytelling. That seems like an easier connection to make.
From like the physical handiwork arts to just the arts, which storytelling would be in.
So we'd abstract from the bizarre.
Yeah. So
and then, this is mind bending. I love it.
Oh yeah, well, and it's all. Can you draw the conceptual link?
Yes.
So you guys go from basically the physical arts to
handicrafts too.
Actual, actually, literal, the high concept of art, which, oh man. How does that appear? I'll put that up to you guys. Conceptually, when you talk about art, actually, probably literally a museum. With all sorts of different displays of you start with like handiworks and stuff like that, but then that's you. Actually, bingo. You step out of the hull of physical art and to this long corridor of tourists with cameras and kids on leashes and docents with a little flag leading guides, leading tours, and then down these long hallways are different stretches and wings of different types of art, and kind of push and make your way through. Well, not push, make your way through to where you're saying storytelling.
Well, for the performance, and then from there, probably to storytelling.
Probably, if we're at the high concept of art,
you can just go directly to storytelling.
Storytelling exhibit is probably
is a thing.
Yeah. I get where you're going with the performance, but we don't need to get too nitty gritty.
That's right.
Yep. I was thinking fiction. But yeah, and that's welcome to the Temenos, and why people coming here, you move in a group and you like coordinate, because otherwise, we'll meet up at storytelling, and you go in very different paths to get there.
Because it's what your brain thinks of as storytelling.
I just had an epiphany. He wants something that's going to be emotionally significant for me. So there's some specific stories that I remember from my childhood of like a Celtic heroic tales would probably be the thing to focus on instead of just a general story or a story.
Sure. That's what I was saying. If you can think of anything from those stories, we can take it.
Yeah.
Like if the hero has particular
magic horn,
bit of their clothes, or magic weapon or something, you can get it.
The Gaybolg, the sword of.
Don't know what that is.
So there was this Celtic warrior who was
Songbird perks up suddenly.
Now you're talking my language. Finally,
so many stories about him, but he had this spear called the Gaybolg that was his very powerful spear.
Heartseeker.
And that might be something that would, because these were stories that my great aunt used to tell me. And there was a story about like Satanta when he was a boy. He was tasked with sending a message.
The dog, right? One of them has a dog.
Exactly.
Yeah, you want to get the dog?
I don't know how that would work.
It's
maybe.
Dog.
And that ended up being his name for the rest of his life was the Hound of Kulan.
Yeah.
He killed Kulan's dog. Okay. Yeah, let's try that.
We're going to steal a dog and give it to a Goetia.
See what happens, but that's the story of.
That's the realm of stories we want to go to.
Yeah,
and then we'll figure out how to get there.
Kukulan is a boy. That's the story we're heading for, trying to.
Okay.
So I think you guys go from art as a concept to probably a side section of histories or
heroic tales, or
and move into again these side passages of all these
push past
nationalities.
Gilgamesh, and you get
just like pass by all sorts of absolutely. Oh, hey, there's Zeus, and other various mythical national kind of things.
Well, this would be like tales about Zeus.
Well,
Right.
bear in mind, this is
I mean,
Yeah.
the tales lead you to this
to the
place.
mythology. Yeah.
Right, which brings us to you step
I
out.
want to talk to Zeus.
I mean, you're walking by Greek myth, and
Yeah, that's all pretty good.
and specifically, it is categorized as Greek myth, but you're still going to end up in Olympus.
Chatting with Zeus, yeah.
Yeah.
It'll be myth Zeus and not like real Zeus.
Yeah, because we talked about this off camera, but like coming to Olympus this way, you're gonna have Zeus with a giant chin and Hercules, my boy. You're gonna have that Zeus, but you pass out of here, go over to religion, and find the remains, the quiet and subdued, not heavily worshipped Olympus, and you're going to have a very different Zeus, the Zeus who turns into a swan. Very, very different Zeus. But yeah, by way of moving along.
Do you kind of want to run over to myth and look for anything that could help you translate Minoan? Because there are like 3 different languages, none of which we can actually read because there is no Rosetta Stone for any of them. And if we're in the realm of thought, maybe it's here.
This is up to you. The 3 of you are talking amongst this whole well, the 2 of you. Songbird is
Songbird's just staring down the hallway at like a Valkyrie in the distance.
Did that say Norse?
And that's what I was like. We could meet, Odin, Thor. You want to take a detour?
We're here for you. Can always come back.
I mean, true. But while we're here,
We're here anyway. Heroic Miss is right down this hallway.
Fuck it.
I have said from the beginning, I am all about some Astral Realms shit. Because this is the thing that only mages can really tap into.
I mean, we were talking about Odin, and Thor.
Great. Like, reach out and grab a mug on the way in.
Yeah.
So you guys make your way to Norse myth, which
is not far from Celtic myth.
Not at all.
Yeah.
And basically you enter that hall and you are in Valhalla. Like it went from nice, quiet, hushed whispers museum to loud, boisterous. Songbird dodges a punch as he walks through the door.
Thank you.
Kind of thing. It is.
You're welcome.
It is chaotic as absolute hell. You have the enormous table of Valhalla, where clearly we are between feasts, because everybody is killing everybody. Swords are out, swords are swinging, and we're going to roll initiative.
All right, cool.
I'm sorry, did you guys not understand? You're here.
That's fair.
Yep.
What's initiative again? Oh.
Wow, I have to remove...
I have initiative 4, whatever that means.
So you roll a D10 plus your initiative.
Oh, there's a button for it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I didn't have my token selected.
That's fine.
I rolled a 5.
All right.
Let's see here. Add turn. Yeah. You roll... Wow. You rolled a 5? So you rolled a 1? Okay, just making sure I was looking at that right. And... weird. Add a turn.
I crit failed on my initiative roll.
Fortunately, those aren't a thing, but... Oh, that's funny. Tratus and Weird are associated, but not that. Okay. Songbird and Tratus are associated. So, yeah. Welcome. Songbird, you immediately dodge a punch from one Einherjar jar. What do you do?
Just kind of, I think I like dodge it and like fall on my ass.
Sure.
And then like as I'm getting up, I see that like swords are being drawn.
Oh yeah, swords are drawn. Like people are fighting. Yeah.
Sure. And just like back up against the wall.
Try and kind of stay out of the fighting, basically.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. We'll say you're taking the dodge action.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Weird.
So these are big folks.
Yeah, I mean, they're huge Norse warriors, and then in and amongst them are going to be some of your more lean, cunning type warriors and stuff like that. But this is Valhalla. These are going to be famed warriors and fighters and slayers of men.
I am going to hide under a table
Just
for
die.
now.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm just getting out of the way.
Sure. Let's do dexterity plus athletics.
Sure.
This is less about trying to hide and be sneaky and so much as just dodging and finding cover.
Yep. Except I'm not very good at athletics.
I mean, I wasn't dodging and trying to be sneaky. I was recoiling from.
Oh no! I'm talking about what.
Oh, I see.
Cool. Yeah. Hey, even with a -1, how'd you manage that? A 10. There you go. Yeah. 10 and a 9. Rolling one die gets 2 successes. Weird is back, everybody. Yeah. Chris, by the way, I don't know if you'd realize, but you took the luck last week with you because the numbers were not great.
Yes.
I mean, people didn't really fail things, though.
Well,
Yeah. You're getting like 1 success on 10 dice.
Right.
I don't see what you're complaining about.
Still a success, right?
Exactly.
So yeah, and we come to Atratus, who's the slowest to pick up, and Songbird, the warrior, has stepped back to the wall trying to clear space. Weird makes a dive under a table. Atratus, what do you do?
Yeah, I just want to kind of get out of the way too, just while we gather our bearings. So I guess dodge.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. So back. No, basically, if somebody were to attack, well, actually, technically, both Songbird and Atratus, go ahead and roll your defense as a stat.
So 3.
Mm-hmm.
Or does it change because we get mental attributes, right?
Oh, yes.
So it's a.
Oh, let's see here.
Oh boy, how do you make defense?
They trade, right?
Let's see here. Resistance, stream health.
Be your finesse, whatever your highest finesse category is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm 3, so I'm 2. So what does that mean?
You get +1, essentially.
Yeah.
So 4 defense, not 3?
Yeah. Like if your defense on your sheet is 3 right now, and either your wits or your manipulation is higher.
Defense is equal to power or finesse, whichever is lower. We're going to use that.
Even when in Temenos?
Yeah, because basically, I'm just without digging too heavily. This is the same traits that Goetia would, or Goetia spirits. All those, their defense is equal to power or finesse, whichever is lower. Except for rank 1 enemies, which use the higher. You guys are definitely not rank 1. We'll just
so you're looking at all of the dots.
Yeah,
you find whether your int or your presence is higher, that's your power. And then same for wits or manipulation for finesse, and then same for resolve and composure for resistance.
Okay, so we just disregard the middle box.
Yeah.
Because that is your physical, which does not exist here.
So I only have 2 manipulations. That becomes
Yep. Cool.
I got 1 success.
Yep. And yeah, basically the way the dodge action works is it subtracts successes from your opponent's roll. So however many successes they get, you subtract that. So yeah, 4 successes. So somebody attempts to hit Songbird, they will roll their normal die. It's not reduced by defense, but then however many successes they get, so they get 5 successes, his dodge forces it down to 1. But that would require them to get 5 successes. Most of the time, this just makes them just completely whiff. That's where you get crazy stuff with like the mage armor, where they can bend bullets back and stuff like that.
That's what I was trying to look at because my mage armor increases your dodge, right?
It increases your defense, and then when you dodge, you can spend a mana and just make people want to give up.
Mhm.
Yep. Yeah, we're really not going to have to worry about that. But yeah, this is just the time to, hey, we can show this real quick. But yeah, for the most part, their Einherjar are looking for other fighters. So as all 3 of you guys kind of like dodge out of the way, they're like, that's not worth, none of you are threatening with weapons or anything like that. That said, Songbird, there are a lot of bladed weapons. And yeah, so we're back at the top of the initiative. You guys are kind of within shouting distance, because it is loud, as folks are fighting and, brawling. And yeah, Odin is sitting up at, the high seat, kind of looking down, smiling upon his Einherjar as they kill each other. Because this is Valhalla, motherfuckers.
I kind of just wanted to go drinking with Thor.
That may not be an option in this particular moment, but
Yeah. I guess we got here at a bad time.
There's only 3 different time settings on a Valhalla clock, and
Fight,
we're currently at
feast,
fight.
sleep.
At 5 o'clock, yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, it's not sleep.
No.
Songbird runs out.
Okay, just out of this. Sure.
Yep. Fuck this.
Bye. Yeah, no, not 5 o'clock's the wrong time. Cool.
So yeah, you guys emerge kind of like panting and, like, okay, so that was a thing. Yeah.
Yep. Cool.
I understand the appeal of that place. Not for me personally, but
Yeah, maybe some other time.
I'm not opposed to going back when it's not murder time.
Murder time can be fun though.
I mean, just want to throw down with some Vikings, sure, but
Yeah.
it's not my thing.
Yeah. All right.
All right.
Let's go.
Okay.
So from here to Celtic mythology.
Sure.
Make your way down the hall to, the courts of warrior poets.
Yeah. Oh, that's
The-
might be something we could do too.
The
But we'll see what
Tuatha
we get.
Danann. Is that how you? Yeah, is that how you say it? Tuatha. Yeah.
Yep. Tuatha De Danann.
Thank you.
There's a Dida in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like the great bards and the storytellers and that whole period of mythological time.
Mm-hmm. Which I think actually kind of drops you into a very similar hall. Probably a little bit more, definitely quieter.
Less fighty, more drinky.
Right, yeah. And I think you have competing. I think you have almost a literal bard off of different performers, and in
Sure.
different halls trying to outshout each other and tell these grand tales. And unfortunately, this is where my lack of Celtic myth. I can recognize some names, but that's about it. Folks are holding court. And talking amongst each other, and yeah, you have various courtiers in kind of classic Celtic dress. There's probably a little touch of, no, that's not quite right. I was gonna say a little bit of Braveheart in here, but Braveheart would be much later.
Yeah. Okay, so we're getting close. I don't know if this if it works like this. Like I'm imagining if this is the Hall of Kulan,
Mhm.
that maybe going out the door to the courtyard,
Mhm.
we'll see the fight between Satanta and the dog.
Well, bear in mind, you're not seeing points of history
Yeah.
or anything like
No,
that. You're
yeah.
not seeing the stories.
I'm trying to get to the story. But maybe if that doesn't work, then we can always like find a bard who would tell the story.
Well, because you are trying to find, and please type this name so I can actually say it right. You're trying to find who?
Oh, Kushalan. Let me type it out here.
Thank you. Yeah, Temenos mythology Valhalla versus Valhalla. Yep.
So there for that, and here for reference.
Yeah. But and I mean, amongst these folks, you can find, various folks, and you can probably step out into the courtyard and find him, if I remember the character correctly, challenging folks. I may be thinking of the wrong character. But challenges. He's not the challenges in might guy, is he?
No, the story that we're looking for is when he was just a boy.
Mm-hmm.
He was told to deliver a message to Kulan.
Mm-hmm.
But Kulan was having a feast with all of his warriors and left his big, massive hound to guard his door. And Satanta was a very impetuous child, and the dog wasn't going to let him go, so he killed it. But then Kulan was so mad and Satanta realized how terrible he'd been that he agreed to be his hound for a year. And that's why he was called the Hound of Kulan.
Gotcha. Yeah, so you will probably not find the story happening. But you can easily find the characters. You will find Satanta in the midst of his, being the hound. You will find, folks moving about. And especially because, oh man, I wish you guys had given me some more heads up.
Sorry.
Because I could have at least reread the Scion book, now available from Onyx Path. Perry runs Scion. Anyways, because like I said, this is a representation of the characters, not necessarily, a replaying of their stories. You can, amongst all of them, you can probably find, anybody. Especially once you realize, okay, here's the door back. Let's explore more of these Celtic myths, and kind of walk from, iconic location to iconic location using, the Norse stuff. Yeah, walk from, Valhalla to Jotunheim to, I almost said Nilfgaard. That's not right, is it?
Niflheim,
thank you. Midgard, Niflheim. Okay. Don't mind me, guys. I'm just dredging up 20-year-old Drew reading myth stuff. So yes, actually, Craig, describe the characters that you're walking past and looking at, and who Weird is looking for.
So I'm looking for the boy who he was always very impetuous. Like he wanted to join the boy troop at Maka, and he's too young, so he snuck away and ran away and tried to join them. But the way he joined them, he didn't know the customs, so they all started to fight him, and he beat them all. That's a story from his childhood. And then the one I'm looking for is the fight outside the courtyard of Kulan's home, when he was supposed to deliver a message and ended up fighting this monstrous wolfhound that was like bigger than he was.
Yeah.
And killed it with his bare hands.
So I mean, you could easily, amongst all this, find the dog. You can find the boy. They're probably watching each other with animosity because they are Goetia. They represent those characters. They know the stories people tell, but they're not necessarily engaging in those stories.
I feel like you can't take the whole dog.
No, probably not.
Because that would screw with the story. So.
Well, only if it's a Goetia, right?
It is the
How
It
Goetia.
is definitely
it's
the
actually
Goetia.
Goetia?
Yeah.
It is the Goetia of the Hound in the story, so we can't.
About the message.
The message. Steal
Or
some
the-
hair.
Yeah, steal like
Big barbed collar, I'm sure.
That's what I was thinking is the collar.
Mhm. that's not necessary for the story.
No, it's not necessary for the story. Let's yeah, so
Not as easy as asking a potter for a piece of his work.
yeah.
I can just speak with animals, so can Songbird.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
a Goetia. It probably could just.
Bear in mind, things that
Goetia
are here,
of a
even
doll.
though they are Goetia, they are
They don't know they're Goetia.
actual higher level Goetia, like these
Oh,
guys
these two?
are. Yeah. The little residents, the Einherjar, are trying to explain to them, listen, you're just a figment of my imagination. Not gonna work. But here, if the representation is an animal, it falls under all the, life
Rules
magic
of
you
an
could
animal,
use.
yeah.
If you end up in the swamp of U.S. politics,
Gross.
you could manipulate stuff with matter, or dry it out with forces, set fire to it. Sorry. But yeah, because, here it is conceptual. And so long as, the mage can see the concept and affect it with the arcana. So yes, speak with animals, totally a thing. You can use.
So I'm imagining these guys are just like eternally circling each other, like sort of in a. That's kind
Perhaps.
of how concept. Yeah. So like it's the moment before the fight. Could we ask the dog, like, speak with animals? Is that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want me to try?
What's
or
the phrase?
Songbird, do you
You
want to try?
certainly can try.
Yeah.
You're better at this than me.
Yeah. Just fucking shout out some high speech and talk to this dog. See, there you go. Just one success. That's all you need.
Speak with beasts.
Casting that on weird, I imagine.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it's your
Uh,
show.
I was
yeah,
going to
yeah,
talk
yeah.
to him. It's
Oh,
like,
okay.
hey, you want me
Okay,
to get
yeah.
this collar or not? Like, I
Yeah,
got it.
please.
All right.
So, monstrous hound, the size of a
You're
person,
talking
if I remember.
in dog speak.
Yeah,
Well-
size of a yeah.
And the best part about Speak with Animals is you can do it both ways. It translates either way. Some people
Yeah.
try and bark like a dog, and other people just speak English, and it works.
Yeah.
Which kind
Hey.
of person is Songbird?
Songbird is definitely the no bullshit
Yeah.
kind of person. Hey, you don't really want to wear that collar, do you?
And
Probably
like
a little itchy.
that's actually a really good way to go at that, because this is a dog. But yeah, it kind of looks at you, and like there's definite like, how do I understand you? But it kind of looks you over, and it says, well, it is mine, but like the leg comes up, it is kind of itchy.
Well, tell you what, if you let me have it, I will scratch for as long as you're itchy.
Roll presence plus persuasion.
Oh, there's apparently an animal kin stat that you roll when talking to animals. Because Speak with Beast gives you a bonus to it.
Oh, do tell. Oh, that's that would be like doing stuff with horses and you're riding.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm still actually talking and
I'm sure if you, and this is where you get into skills can be used different ways. Ow. Yeah, so he kind of looks at you and like there's a shift and move back and away, and it's like it's itchy, but it protects my neck. And like hackles rise and kind of sits up a little bit, eyeing you up.
So I guess it didn't go.
Can make him a better one. It will fit better.
Ooh. We can.
You can
can
understand
do-
Songbird's side of the conversation. All you have seen now is the dog get a little riled up.
Yeah, he didn't want to let me have it.
We can. We can conjure stuff here, right?
Define conjure.
I mean,
Like,
same
I can
spells.
just whip up path tools and things like that.
Path
Path
tools,
tools.
yes, because path
Not
tools,
a dog collar.
right? Path tools come from your soul, and because you were here, literally, basically as your soul, yeah, having a path tool at hand is available.
Okay, but I can't do that just with anything.
No, not unless you have matter 5.
Okay, I'm going to start looking around for something I could use to make. I guess if it wants something protecting, it'll want something metal, probably, right?
Yeah, because right now I imagine this is like a big, heavy leather collar with the big, gnarly, spikes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I want to make it one of the cages that sheepdogs wear to avoid wolves. They're really cool if you haven't seen them.
I've seen it because I've seen the one little sheep kissing the dog who is all bloodied up from protecting it. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's so good.
Okay, I need metal.
Yeah, so Trident's like, I've got an idea. I need metal.
Yeah, I'm just looking around. It's like, is there anything?
I mean,
to see if I can find anything.
Tent stakes, and I'm sure there's poles and all sorts of.
I can conjure up a path tool, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I can conjure up a rapier.
Sure.
It's a path tool for an acanthus.
Yeah, but that's like your rapier.
Yeah, it is your rapier. It is.
Oh, it's my rapier?
It is. Yeah, it is
okay.
Your path tool.
Tied to your soul.
Okay. All right. It's not a rapier. It's my rapier. Yeah.
Right. If you're willing to sacrifice it for the cause, all right.
But yeah, I'm just gonna go snatching up any sort of little metal business. I don't need that much because these things don't require a lot of metal. They're open work usually. And I guess cast shaping.
Yep.
I mean, there's candlesticks and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah. Actually, do me a favor and let us roll as you try and rob this place. Air quotes.
Side of a courtyard, right? I'm picking things off the ground.
Sure, but I mean, there's not going to be enough little bits of metal around. Let's roll finesse plus subterfuge.
Finesse, do I pick the lowest one?
No,
Your highest.
Highest.
Highest, okay. So it's wits. I don't know how many points. Yeah, I have 2 points in subterfuge.
Yep.
2 successes.
Yeah. So yeah, you just casually because instead of Atratus literally just grabbing willy nilly, this is Atratus calmly walking over and grabbing a candlestick and.
Oh, I'm imagining the hounds, the dog's cage is probably nearby. Just come and take a bar off of that.
Sure.
Or something like that. Sure.
Yeah. Atratus kind of makes her way about as, the hound and Songbird are kind of squared off. Just kind of watching each other. A little bit of a stare down, I guess.
Okay.
But yeah, you can go ahead and roll shaping. Yep.
You took 3 or each. 1 for instant, 1 for solids. Actually, I think I only need 2. But I have 3. It's fine. Yantras, I've got Shadowing for 3. I've got my hammer for 1, because I have to use it for every spellcast for a month now, which I forgot about last time.
Sorry, you totally did. All last session, I'm sure you did. Yep.
Sure. Okay. And then I can have 1 more Yantra, right?
Yep.
So I can have 3.
Mm-hmm.
What else is around?
Yeah, I mean, if all else fails, high speech.
Oh, yeah. So roll cap at 5.
Mm-hmm. Cool. So yeah, roll that at 11. Four successes. Screw your exceptional success. No.
I would say wrote, but I don't. I just only count my Yantras at 5.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, so you get your 4 successes and make this metal cage, contraption, pulled right out of your imagination in the astral realm, forging it into this thing and kind of hand it off to Songbird.
It will protect your neck.
You want a really protective collar?
Kind of looks at you, kind of looks
Trade
at
you?
the collar, and there's like is the hackles kind of come down and kind of comes over and looks over, and of course this thing's head is huge. No fooling.
No fooling.
Kind of tilts its head a little bit to the side, away, kind of exposing the the back catch of the collar, and and latch the cage on, and you have this enormous leather collar with bits of spiky
It's
metal,
like 2 feet long.
yeah.
Yes.
And it kind of makes its way back, kind of settles back in front of the door to to the feast hall, and again watching the boy. So where to next?
Probably break.
Oh yeah, but I want to know ahead of time, so on the break I can start thinking. Yeah.
Sure, how to get some.
Yeah,
Well,
a
what-
carnival with a fortune teller
Fortunately.
eventually, but how to get there?
From the arts. I
Well,
mean,
now we're just in
performance.
Celtic mythology.
Mhm.
Yeah,
We don't have to go back.
that's true.
So yeah.
Performance could take us to a circus, though.
Mhm.
I mean, from mythology, I feel like you easily get to like
Soothsayers.
spirituality.
True, that's
like
true.
astrology and soothsayers and
Yeah, because I mean, Celts were all about some roll on the bones and
Yeah, but you're looking for a tarot deck.
sure, but from
Right, but from that's just a short walk from rolling the bones or reading entrails to tarot decks.
So,
Okay.
cool. So yeah, we're gonna go on a break. YouTube guys, we'll see you on Friday. Twitch guys, we'll see you in just a couple minutes. I have to go refill my lovely, lovely Venom mug. Which, by the way, did you guys see my new Venom? I know these guys did, but you at home, did you see my new awesome Venom? Because my wife loves me. Anyways, as always, come join us on Discord. That's yeetinto.space. We'd love to hear from you guys. We'd love to chat with you. Again, I will point out, hey, if you are an artist and you want to get paid for some art stuff and you want to draw these guys, please don't draw anything. I want to chat first, and stuff like that. But we would love to, love to chat with you. We'd love to find somebody in the community to pay to do art. That would be super cool. Or if you like, hey, my best buddy or my wife or my husband or whoever, girlfriends, boyfriends, whatever. I'm not going to go through them all. Does art and they would be super cool. Let me know. Like I said, I would like to do something that's in the community before we put your patron funds to somebody who doesn't care about the community. Anyways, and then of course, if you want to support us monetarily, that is staylucky.club to hit up our Patreon. And Hunter 2E Kickstarter is out. It is so good. Well, okay, I'll admit it's pretty good. It's looking good. We haven't got to the rules yet. I hate the first week because I fund and then I get the little preview thing and I'm like, this all sounds great and it's all fluff. But it's not enough fluff. Don't tell me that the union is back. It is back, by the way. But tell me more about the union. And we've got, the Sworn who are new, and Ashwood Abbey is kind of somewhere else, and I needs it. So yeah, check that out. If you're into Hunter, if you want to play somebody who's here to defend his neighborhood, who wants to go hunt monsters because somebody killed his sister and he wants to get revenge on all vampires, or he's just looking to take care of his town or anything like that. This is the thing for you. Go check it out. It's looking really good. And hey, you could go hunt mages. Please don't. Mages are your
don't
friend.
recommend it.
But
No, they're not your friends, but don't hunt them. You'll probably die.
Yeah,
There's a good chance it won't go well, yeah.
no. So, not that we're biased or anything. But yeah, so we will see you next time, folks. Twitch guys will be right back.
Stay lucky.